The Marley warriors are waiting for Eren to come to them in Shiganshina so that they can have a friendly discussion. However, inside the walls, a political kerfuffle was just about to begin. The military government that took power after Grisha befell the royal family wants to restore the race monarchy so that they can go back to committing some corruption in peace. Among them is the last surviving male member of the royal family, Rod Reiss. Years ago, Rod Reiss's massive Rod Reiss had been wandering in places where it shouldn't have been, and he got himself an illegitimate child with royal blood. The government wants to retake the founder from Grisha's son and give it to the royal-blooded Historia, which will bring the pesky peasants back in line. They send in the goon squad led by Kenny, and they abduct both Eren and Historia, who are then taken to the royal cave where Grisha devoured some royal booty. The government also want to get rid of Erwin Smith, who was threatening the established order by investigating the outside world. They accuse him of murdering some dude and put him on a sham trial to get rid. They clearly did not know who they were dealing with because he had pulled some political machinations with other heads of the military, and they coup d'etat the government right on scene. With the corrupt government now no more, the scouts track Eren and Historia to the royal cave to get them back. Inside, Rod Reiss was trying to manipulate his daughter to take the founder from Eren when she body slams him and breaks his back instead. In desperation, he drinks some spinal fluid and transforms into this mindless abomination, and it heads to a wall district to commit some war crimes. The scouts use the magic of trinitrotoluene and blow Rod Reiss's head to smithereen. Historia finally puts her father out of his misery and announces that she is the boss now. She is then made the new figurehead queen by the heads of the military, and the whole kerfuffle is over. All is ready now for the Survey Corps to go to Shiganshina and face off with the warriors once and for all. The Survey Corps go out in force to retake Wall Maria and find Grisha's basement, which contains the truth about the world. They arrive in Shiganshina and realize that the warriors are close at hand, while Eren plugs the outer gate of the city. A wild Reiner is discovered chilling in a cavity inside the wall. Despite a Levi sword to the neck, he survives and transforms to his armored form. Right on cue, Zeke transforms and surrounds the city with pure titans and starts clobbering the horses and the scouts with boulders. Reiner climbs the wall to help murder the horses so they can isolate the scouts inside the city. Reiner and Eren have at it once again, but Reiner gets himself thunder speared and blown half to hell. He somehow survives and screams for help from his fellow warriors. Zeke obliges and sends in the nuclear strike. Armin has the situation under control though. He has one simple trick to deal with the angry tactical nuke in front of him. What's left of the scouts inside the city have to deal with the colossal titan. Meanwhile, on the inner side of the wall, they are trapped between a hammer and an anvil, but they still have the attack titan, so things are well under control. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe all they need is to keep calm and put some trust in their fellow soldier. When you hit rock bottom, the only way is up, baby. There's only one way out of this mess. Now, Erwin is one charming motherfucker. He gives up his dream of learning the truth about the world, rallies this company with an awesome speech, and charges straight into the giant monkey. At the cost of most of the Survey Corps, the beast is defeated, although he escapes with the help of the Car Titan. Inside Shiganshina, Reiner is ready to join the fight once again, although his regenerated head is now sporting an unfortunate new haircut. Armin hatches a plan to defeat the Colossal by sacrificing himself, while Eren pulls a sneaky and shoves a sword up his ass. While Reiner gets thunder speared again by the Levi squad and eats multiple missiles to the face, Armin gets severely burned and falls 40 meters to the ground. Zeke pulls up on the Car Titan to say hi to his brother.
Nope.
He realizes that Brick's wall is done for, so he opts to rescue Reiner before the enemy cut out his speech organs. The warriors have been defeated, they lost the Colossal to the enemy, and the scouts have blocked Wall Maria, so they retreat back to Marley. The victorious scouts are left with a conundrum, however. From beneath the desolate ashes of this accursed battlefield emerge the two soon-to-be corpses of Erwin and Armin. Levi has a single Titan serum courtesy of their uncle Kenny. He can revive one of them by making him eat that juicy snack over there in premium form. After a very cordial and civilized discussion on whom they should revive, Levi is left to make his choice. The choice is easy. Anyone with half a brain would choose the de facto leader of humanity, the one who has led them so far, not some blonde kid with a constipated face. He chose the blonde kid with a constipated face. For some reason, Armin is chosen to be revived. He snacks on Brittle and acquires the Colossal Titan, and so Erwin is finally laid to rest alongside the rest of the wayward souls. The scouts have won, and they head to Grisha's basement. They find his hidden journals which detail his life and the situation of Paradis, which we covered in part 1. Having succeeded in retaking Wall Maria, the Survey Corps receive a hero's welcome inside the walls, and at a ceremony for their return, they have the honor of kissing the royal hand. After months of clearing the island from the remaining pures, the scouts venture far beyond the walls, and their childhood dream of reaching the sea finally comes to pass. Although Eren had been acting weird since the celebration ceremony, as would be revealed later, kissing the royal blooded Historia caused him to have future memories of what happened next, and how fucking shite the ending would be. After the warriors were defeated on Paradis, some world nations rose up against the dominance of Marley, but they got smashed and subdued in 4 years of war. At the final engagement, Marley deploys its full arsenal of infantry, artillery, Eldian child soldiers, and shiny new CGI Titan shifters, and they annihilate the enemy fleet. After recovering from eating multiple artillery shells to the face, Reiner reunites with the kids who are in training to inherit his armor titan. And they return to Libero, their homeland and the capital of Marley. Now, Reiner had seen firsthand how teaching your kids that certain people are pesky devils deserving of death can eventually lead them to one day commit some horrid atrocities, like destroying some people's walls and serving them up for dinner like a certain blonde piece of shit has done before. His guilt for his crimes is tearing him apart, and seeing these kids drink from the same indoctrination malarkey that he had quaffed years ago definitely did not help his mental health. One day he wanted to speedrun the departed course, but decided to help the kids be better instead. Although Valko has been overly enthusiastic about his traits since meeting that suspicious old man, but nah, it's probably fine. After stopping all opposition from other world nations, Marley turns its sight back again on Paradis, and they organize a convention to garner support for an invasion of the island to get rid of the pesky devils once and for all. A central figure in their effort is Willy Tybur, the head of the Tybur nobles who hold the Warhammer Titan. Everyone on the continent loves Willy Tybur, not because Willy Tybur is as impressive as the Warhammer, but because he knows how to sell a story. At the convention, he rallies the world leaders against the pesky devils of Paradis. Willy reveals the truth that King Karl was the one who brought down Eldia, that the gracious king programmed his royal offspring to let the wall Eldians die without activating the rumbling. But now that the founder has fallen into the hands of the rebel Eren Yeager, he can start the rumbling and destroy Marley and the world. The warriors are supposed to be in attendance. While Willy flaunts his Willy on stage, Reiner just wants to go home and practice some depression in peace. The new Joe Titan holder and the cart girl have disappeared somewhere, and Zeke is off to buy a pack of cigarettes. Falco arrives, and he has a pleasant surprise for Reiner. Just perfect. It was about time he got a break from this Willy. Everyone always likes a pleasant surprise. After some time tormenting Reiner for his war crimes on Paradis, it was about time for Willy to declare war on the island. I don't know how Eren had been passing his leisure time during the 4-year time skip, but I do know for a certainty that he didn't spend it memorizing Article 4 of the Geneva Convention. Willie's sister, the current Warhammer holder, transforms and engages the Attack Titan, which would have been a lot cooler to watch if it wasn't done in this shitty CGI. The Island Devils arrive in force and start shooting everyone. They overpower the Warhammer lady and Eren has her crystallized in his grasp. Don't worry comrades, our motherland Marley has the upper hand. The Marley warriors have arrived to save the day. Our beast titan is formidable. No one can withstand him. Our car titan can deal with those flying idiots. Our Joe titan is one of Marley's finest and he is definitely not a moron. And if push comes to shove, our massive fleet controls the seas, so they can't escape out here alive. All things considered, the situation is very much under control. As the situation goes well out of control, Reiner is practicing some depression below stage. He had saved Falco when Eren decided to explode in his face, but now he has to wake up and save the Joe Titan moron who just got himself used as a nutcracker. Having acquired the Warhammer, killed most of the Marley High Command and destroyed their navy, the scouts call it a day and open their blimp to escape. The crazy brainwashed girl hops along for the ride however, and she shoots the potato girl dead. Very tragic. After Paradis learned of their precarious situation on the world stage from Grisha's basement, they were debating the best way forwards when a communication from Zeke Yeager arrives via the volunteers and the Hizuru. Apparently he is willing to let Queen Historia inherit his beast titan before his time limit expires. This would give Paradis a royal blooded titan shifter, and with Eren in possession of the founder, they can keep the world nations at bay with the threat of the rumbling. By making Historia's royal offspring inherit the beast, they can hold off the world nations long enough to modernize Paradis and probably make some allies in the meantime. Eren doesn't like this because Historia would be forced to become a baby machine, and that reminds him too much of being enslaved to Carl's wishes. Secretly though, Zeke is sending these guys to pitch his euthanasia plan to Eren in secret. Eren pretends to agree to his brother's plan while his true intention is to rumble the world and kill everyone outside Paradis on a very romantic farm. Although Historia is willing to take up the baby machine route for the sake of Paradis, Eren tells her of his intentions to send everyone in the outside world into the underside one. They decide it's best she got pregnant, so that the military of Paradis can't force her to inherit any titan for the time being. As to who they decide would do the plowing though, a year or so later, Eren and his friends go to Marley to explore the possibility of a diplomatic solution. Eren had seen the future and he well knows that he would soon be rumbling Uncle Steve with his carrot, Mr. Gary with his clown suit, and Aunt Beth with her ice cream, and he is not in a very good mood. He knows that murdering these people is not nice, but he can't accept the demise of Paradis' people at the hands of the outside world. He rescues a refugee kid and tells him that he would soon be blowing his mind a little more literally than he was like. He gets family zoned and they have a bender with the Ottomans. They attend a congress or something where Marley politicians make their determination to destroy Paradis quite apparent. Paradis is in a dire situation. Most of the outside world wants to flatten the island and its people, and the political scene is not looking good. If only they had a politically astute, proven leader who can lead them out of this mess with some political shenanigans. Alas, he was feeding the worms 6 feet below ground. If you're wondering what the guy they sacrificed Erwin for was doing, he was too busy conversing with the crystal and playing with a seashell, but he definitely did not stick his dick inside to be of any use. Eren finally decides that he was done with the diplomatic solution and it was time for the smash your face and break your collarbone solution. He leaves his friends, masquerades as an Eldian soldier for Marley, cuts off his leg and gouges his eye, and infiltrates their army. He meets again with his brother Zeke and tells him that he totally accepts his euthanasia plan. Zeke informs him that Marley is gathering support to launch an imminent attack on Paradis, so they need to do something about that before they euthanize Eldi rumble the world. Eren plans to destroy the Marley fleet and kill the high command. Zeke would fake his death and be abducted so that they can go to Paradis. Eren manipulates Falco to send his letters detailing his plans to his friends. On the day of the Tiber proclamation, he finds a cozy place behind the stage and sends Falco to bring his old friend Reiner. After returning from their joyous murder party in Marley, the military elite are not happy that Eren forced their hand into provoking the war of nations. They have him imprisoned with the intention of making someone else inherit his founder. And they entrust Zeke with Levi to keep inside the giant forest. With the help of Flock and the Jaegerists, the military is deposed and Eren's faction takes charge. They assassinate the shit machine guy with his shit machine and take the military elite in custody. Eren escapes prison, sticks a middle finger to his friends, and leaves for Shiganshina to meet Zeke and move forwards with his plans to destroy the world. Meanwhile, Zeke has an appointment with his brother in Shiganshina, and he wants to escape the giant forest. Previously, he had jizzed all over the wine that was smuggled in with the volunteers, and he can now turn everyone who drank that piss into premium form. Levi's friends have been turned into monsters. He is understandably a little bit upset about this. And he chases the monkey and turns him into monkey stew once again. He straps a thunder spear to Zeke's neck and starts having a little fun chomping limbs. Zeke was not having fun though, and he blows them both to Kingdom Come. Zeke is inexplicably revived by the ancestor Ymir, and Levi survives because fan service. The Jaegerists arrive to gaze in admiration at this reanimated Zeke, although tragically ancestor Ymir had forgotten to rebuild Zeke's massive Jaeger. And they head to Shiganshina to make contact with Eren and move forwards. In Shiganshina, Eren is suddenly attacked by the moral Olden the Joe Titan. Just as a fleet of enemy airships arrives, Marley have come at last, and they will make the pesky devils pay for what they did. Marley parachutes his soldiers onto the city and rains bullets on the enemy below. The Armor Titan is deployed to fight Eren alongside the Joe and Car Titans. As you can see here, Reiner is very excited to face Eren once again. After a bloody battle on the ground and in the streets, Zeke arrives in time to save his brother from the Marley warriors and destroys the Marley fleet. Now all they need do is to achieve contact to win this struggle. Zeke gets himself sniped off the walls and falls at the gate. He screams to turn everyone who tasted his urine-tainted wine inside the city into premium form and turn the tide of battle. Falco is one such piss-contaminated vessel, and he snaps on the moral who was the Joe Titan holder. Eren pins Reiner to the ground with his crystal form and runs for his brother. Right before they make contact, he gets wallhack aimbot shot by the girl with an AWP. His head makes contact right before death, however, and all hell breaks loose. Meet Ymir the Ancestor, the one soul who started the whole story in the first place. 2000 years ago, Ymir was enslaved by the original King Fritz, a very upright dude and the most tolerant of kings. So tolerant in fact that he set his hunting dogs out on Ymir when she freed some pigs from their cage. When she falls down a massive tree, she finds a big glowing lizard thing, which is the source of all Titan powers in the world, and she is transformed into Ymir the founder. Fritz is enamored with this piece of massive booty with so much potential for trampling your annoying neighbor and his entire village, and as a reward for acquiring this power, he shall give her his seed.
I was a businessman doing business.
When she gets speared through the tits trying to defend her dipshit of a husband, he makes her children eat her conscious dead body and acquire her titan powers. Now, if someone were to do this clusterfuck of monstrosities to any girl, how do you think this girl would feel about that? Apparently, Ymir was so touched by Fritz's heartfelt love and affection, so much so that she was bound by the nerve to obey Fritz's twisted wishes of keeping the curse of the Titans inflicted upon Eldians for generation upon generation upon generation until we arrive at the present day. Eren wakes up in the Path's realm beside his brother and finds Ymir working dutifully for her dear Fritz. Zeke had been suspicious that his little brother was just pretending to follow his plan to let the Eldian people die in peace, and true to form, he was doing just that. So Zeke tries to convince him of his righteousness by revisiting old memories, but he soon realizes that Eren was the one who manipulated his father from the future into murdering the royal family and passing the founder power onto him. His dad gives him a very tearful apology for being a shit father, which was very awesome. Back in Paths, Zeke tries to order Ymir to take away the Eldian ability to reproduce. Before she could, Eren catches up with her and screams his intentions. He frees her from obeying the royal Fritz descendants by telling her that she can release her long-concealed anger upon the world, that he plans to destroy it, and that she can tell Fritz to go suck her. Ymir complies, and Eren's wishes come true. The rumbling has begun. That makes her free, right? This is the end of her bondage, and she doesn't love Fritz anymore, right? After an awesome speech about how he doesn't accept the outside world's wishes to stomp the Eldians on Paradis, Eren sets out with the war colossals to stomp everyone else. Locke and his Jägerists are really into this, and they have a murder party for the volunteers. Eren's friends are less fond of this plan, however, and decide to team up with the enemy Marley warriors to stop him. Armin and his friends grab Reiner, decrystallized Annie, the Car Titan, and some red shirts to go stop the rumbling. Using the power of friendship and some half-assed dialogue, the Alliance resolve their differences, by which I mean Isayama totally ignores addressing most of the tension that should be simmering between them, including the crimes of the cute girl, and beats up Reiner instead. He's even in a romance subplot now with a blonde brat. The Alliance head to the seaport to grab the airplane and pursue the founder. They find the place infested with Locke and his Jägerists after a diabolically cringe battle at the seaport. The Alliance murder their fellow soldiers and steal the ship with the airplane in tow. They stop somewhere on the continent to refuel and torture the viewer with some more out-of-place, poorly built-up romance scenes. They had been towing an unwelcome guest all the way here, however, and he shoots up the plane fuel tank before getting shafted through the neck, which delays the Alliance's departure. The rumbling reaches their town, and Angie volunteers to hold off the Colossals while they fix the airplane. And to my massive relief, the Colossals stuff this annoying presence from my bloody screen for the last time. Thanks a lot, Colossals. You rule. High atop the scenes of harrowing death and destruction, one guy is having the time of his life. Eren's dream of absolute freedom is within grasp, and the Alliance arrive to stop him at the Marley's final military outpost. It was time for the final showdown. Now I do not have the mental fortitude to go over this clown fist in detail once again, so long story short, the Alliance fight thousands of ancient titans. For some reason, Armin travels into the Path's realm when he gets swallowed whole by this thing. For some reason, he convinces Zeke to abandon his nihilistic views about life. For some reason, Zeke suddenly wants to die to stop the rumbling. For some ungodly reason, these gentlemen who are long dead agree to help the Alliance stop the rumbling. For some reason they can do that. For some reason I absolutely detest this jumble of nonsensical visual noise that the story has become. Eren's neck is blown and his founder nuked, but now he is a colossal titan because why not? He has a fight with Armin's colossal while Reiner fights the giant glowing lizard thing. Levi blows Eren's mouth open with a thunder spear. Mikasa goes in for the kill. After writing her own fan fiction about the ending, she decapitates Eren and gives her brother a smooch while Ymir watches in the background, which would be very romantic, I'm sure, if you're 12 and actually gave two shits about this love dynamic shoehorned into importance so late in the day. Eren is dead, the Alliance have won, and it's time for some answers. In the final chapter of the story, Eren explains his motivations for the rumbling. They aren't as convoluted as they are retarded. He says that Ymir needed to see Mikasa let go of her love for him so that she can let go of the love that enslaved her to King Fritz's command, and Mikasa showed this omnipotent being how to let go. This story had been about the worst of humanity, about the darkest pits of people's hearts, about conflict and war, about hatred and oppression, but it's now all about the love. If this abomination of an ending doesn't make sense to you, congratulations, you have a functional brain. In the aftermath, the giant glowing lizard thing fucks off to her planet. The curse of the Titans is over. Armin and his friends become heroes for stopping the rumbling. 80% of humanity is dead, but the rest will never forget. Eren's friends live long and happy lives as peace ambassadors, which is what he had killed his mother to achieve apparently. Ellen becomes dove crying, while the next generations of Eldians are doomed to be hated for eternity because of their stupid moral.
Disappointed!
Oh, and the Titan curse is vaguely hinted to be back, so thank you for wasting 10 years of your life on this pointless story. Adios.